Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. I know this is last minute stream. I actually was planning to do this stream, and I might actually have to do a part two because I did not do my due diligence and my research and listen to the original audio. What am I speaking about? Sarge Willie Pete's video speaking about divestors responding to Samantha Cooker. And so I'll go and listen to that video. But I wanted to say a few things to Sarge, as if Sarge hasn't been doing this for over a decade now, obviously. But you know, Mr. Z will be that guy, right? Um, okay, so Sarge, it really isn't that complicated. They want to be white women. Women of color want to be white women. They charge black men, they charge men of their similar races, but in our case, because we're talking about black women, because we're black men, they charge black men with all of these things, even when white men commit the crime, because they're cowards. Samantha Cooker, Crystalline Karazin, all the divestors and swirlers are cowards. They're cowards and they're white male worshippers. It's that simple. It really is. It's not complicated. It's not anything else. They want to be upper middle class, rich and wealthy white women, right? And like that's it. And individual black men, and even if black men did well financially, you would run into the same wall that the East and South Asian men are running into in America. We just have to have an honest conversation, and I continue to say this, and I'm gonna tag Sarge after this. We have to have a serious and real conversation about what white colonialism did to the minds of women of color, namely black women in our case, because we're black men, right? This is not about what black men haven't built. And you see this with the dating divide, a book co-written by women speaking about online dating statistics. Men of color do not rate white women. In other words, men of color are not chasing after white femininity, but women of color do rate white men. In other words, women of color are chasing after white masculinity, white patriarchy, right? And even one of the co-authors, Jennifer Lundquist, white woman, the look on her face speaking about her own book was like, wow, I guess we did do a number on these people. Excuse me, on these women of color, right? Train tracks. Sarge, it really isn't that complicated. I understand. For a lot of brothers, it's like, well, if we just was a bunch of six-figure kick-ass men, then the black women wouldn't think this way. No, black women would just be East Asian women. That's all. That's what they would be, right? Their issue is that they aren't the face of the beauty magazines that white men lust after. That's their problem. They want to be the beauty standard, right? They want to take all of white society, white elite society, excuse me, and paint it black. Where white elite women are, and just paint it black. No remix with nothing. Maybe one or two thrown together different African symbolism. But other than that, which by the way, I said that the way I said it on purpose. Because yes, Mr. Z knows you're talking about thousands of tribes and 54 countries, right? But yeah. These women, they're not consistent. They don't care about anything else but the myth of white womanhood, being a chocolate dipped white woman. That's the goal, right? That's the goal. What else? The black tax. Oh, now this is important. I can't believe that I actually forgot to say this. The black tax. So what we're running into is black women charging black men with the black tax. So we talk about these type of things all throughout, the black community about different things. But yes, black women are charging black men with the black tax. What's the black tax? You have to be better than the white man. The white man gets to be mediocre in black women's eyes and still be great because he's white in a white supremacist society. Black women and many women of color rate white men that could do a two-step. You better know how to do more than a two-step, right? That know one or two rap songs. You better know the whole goddamn discography of Tupac and Biggie and name the newer guy, NBA YoungBoy and Kodak Black and J. Cole and Kendrick. And my apologies, everybody. I know I went out. I know I went out. My apologies. But yeah, even the white man can't give them the myth of white womanhood, right? But let them find out the hard way. All these men that they worship at the altar of, well, it's really the white man. I'm saying things to Sarge that I'm almost certain that he already knows. I don't think I'm saying anything, new, like I said, revelatory or anything like that. But I do think it might need to be restated. Divestors are what happens when you have late stage capitalism, neoliberalism. Oh, I'm going through all the isms. Right? I said capitalism, neoliberalism, um, consumerism, materialism, right? All of that rolled into feminism, all of that rolled into one. Female empowerment. They can't help it. These ladies can't help it. They can't. So yeah, they're gonna gaslight black men about building this and doing that, but really, it's not enough because you're not a white man. You know, I revisited the Ebony K. Williams conversation, and I I skimmed through the Views talk about it when it was hot a month ago, and I actually listened to the full thing this time around, and it was very interesting hearing Sunny Holston's perspective, right? Particularly because she's married to a black man. If I'm not mistaken, she's married to a Haitian descent brother, if I'm not mistaken, right? But yet her perspective was 100% in line with Ebony K. Williams. And I'm tying this to my conversation with Sarge Willie Pete here. And it didn't matter what the white woman told her. And it didn't matter what the Latina woman told her. And the Latinas from down here, from South Florida. It didn't matter what they told her. Right? It was, don't get in the way of me and Ebony K. Williams defecating on black men, spanking black men, chastising black men, reprimanding black men, disciplining black men. You privileged white women, we're trying to be in your position. Don't get in the way. What am I saying, Sarge? I'm saying that even white women can't tell black women, hey, y'all sound a little fanatical. Y'all sound a little off. Even the white women that black women want to be can't tell them, y'all going about this all wrong. The Latina can't tell them, yeah, y'all going about this all wrong. Sunny Holston was battling all of them, all these different people, different backgrounds, different part of the country, all women, and she was telling all of them. And she checked what's her name straight up. Yeah, you're a white woman. Yeah, you just don't know. In other words, shut up while I'm defecating on black men. Right? While I'm over here trying to spank black men, stop getting in the way. And to see that coming from Sunny Holston and trying to couch it as generational wealth, right? Because it's always black men not stepping up for the generational wealth part of the conversation, right? I have some really choice words for this worldview, but I'm going to hold that until it's needed. Because one day I'm going to tell these people what they really are. All these people that really think they're doing something big. But I digress. Continuing. Yeah. Tying that to what I'm saying to Sarge Willie Pete. Sarge, the reason why I brought up Sunny Holston is to say no one could tell them anything. It doesn't matter what black men build. It doesn't matter what black men do. Black women's problem is that they're not white women. And not just white women. Elite, rich white women. They over-romanticize these people's positions. They almost speak like there's no class structure in the black community. Excuse me, in the white society. In white society. They completely ignore that the vast majority of white women are living Roseanne's life. They're not living the Real Housewives of Orange County. The divestors over-romanticize all of this, and it's not up to us to take their threat, what they can possibly do and who they can speak to and make black men's life harder, yes. But outside of that, taking them seriously, no. Outside of protecting black men's image from the slander, no. These people are unhinged. They're delusional. They're off their rocker. They don't know what they're talking about. It's that simple. They just don't know what they're talking about. And they don't care to know. Most importantly, Sarge, these women do not care to know what they're talking about. All it is black men ain't this, black men ain't step up, black men not doing this, black men not doing that. If black men would do this, no. These women want black men and men in general to buy them out of their debt, out of their student loan debt, out of the horrible choices they made. Yes, Sarge, you were right. They don't make any sense, but they're not supposed to. It's about the way they feel, and they feel like white women are getting things that they're not. They feel like black men treat white women and Latina women better than black women. I make this joke all the time, right? Which is, these women speak like what's really going on is we have a bunch of Kelly Rowland, Carrie Hilson, Kerry Washington, Carrie Champion. I'm going to do the whole Carrie thing, right? All over the black community. Just these gorgeous, cute, nice black women, and black men are stiff-arming them and pushing them out the way and tackling them out the way to end up with like some honey boo boo built white woman or some Consuela domestic looking Latina. But they can't help it. That's what they got to tell themselves. That's what they have to tell themselves. And someone you helped to bring in the space when all her talk about exoticals. But she don't just want to be honest that you're insufferable. Pause right there, Mr. Z. And that's probably why you still don't got no goddamn man. And you've been swirling for a decade or more. More. Sarge, the divestors are going to keep on talking. They have nowhere else to go, brother. They don't have nowhere. They don't have any. The divestors don't have anything. A handful of them actually have the wedding ring. A little bit of them, a little bit more of them actually have the white boyfriend or the Latino or not Asian. Let's not even mention that. That's not a thing. A handful of them more have the Latino boyfriend or white boyfriend, and that's it. They don't have the vast majority of these women that are talking on the interwebs. No white man want to do anything with them except for maybe pipe. Divestors don't have anything but to rail on the internet about how black men aren't doing right by them. They don't have anything else. They don't talk about anything else. Sarge, I've been subscribed to you forever. You can check my community tab also. We talk about class, we talk about income, we talk about so many things. Politics, history, race. Those divestors not talking none of that. Technology, all that, they're not talking. Check their community tab. Look at what they're sharing. Because their channel only has to be one thing. Black men ain't ish. And everything that stems from that luxury content, right? Luxury prawn, we'll say luxury prawn content. That's all they have to produce. They don't have to speak about anything worldly. They don't have to speak about history or politics or any of that. Why would they? Their subscribers are perfectly okay with video after video speaking about how black men aren't stepping up, how non-black men are better, how other non-black women aren't told to settle, the biggest crock of crap ever. They don't have to produce any content outside of that. I guess what I'm saying is, let's stop having these people gaslight us with these omnipotent, omniscient, mythical, magical white men. These mythical, meanwhile, medium income for men doesn't even break $45,000. Men in America, not just black men. Median income for men in America doesn't even break $45. I mean, excuse me, $45,000 a year. We just can't let these people continue to gaslight us, because they will. Right? And have you worked to death? Well, Sarge, I don't know if you ever saw this tweet a couple years ago where a black woman said, I miss the days where men would work until they, pretty much saying, I miss the days where men would work until they die and leave you their life insurance money. That's the type of people we're talking about, bro. That's the type of people we're talking about. You think you can prove something to them? These people don't even want you here. Even if you were a great man, they don't want you. They want your resources. They don't even see you as a fully fledged, human being. Y'all seen the different kind of, what's the show, the Snapped and all these other shows, and there was an episode where a mother killed the father, like poisoned the father, and slowly was poisoning the adult daughter just for the life insurance money so she could buy nice stuff and be stunting. And this was a white woman back in the 70s or something like that. That's the type of women we're dealing with, these divestors and swirlers. They don't even, their love of the white man is even not that great. It's really the hatred of black men. It's really the love of money, the love of status that they see through. They see that in the white man. It's not even him. It's not even him. maybe the system he created, but it's not even about the white man. It's about the status that the white man's skin holds. It's about the prestige, excuse me, the perceived status that he has because he's a white man, right? These people don't care about other people. They don't know what that means, right? Just make sure we get what's the other one, right? So, and the book, by the way, Sarge Willie Pete, is The Dating Divide. If you haven't heard of it, I'm almost certain you have. But yeah, I'm listening to Sarge Divester video where he was, speaking about this. And look, man, these women don't mean half of what they're saying, right? Some of them mean it, some of them don't. Let me take that back because Mr. Z has said multiple times, right? They mean what they say. And yes, for the most adamant of them, they do mean what they say. They definitely mean what they say. But the other ones are just howling in the wind because they're angry and resentful about who wasn't attracted to them in middle school and high school. Now, that I've also been saying a million billion times, right? Right? They're just howling in the wind. Divestors are the black community's neo-Nazis, right? And if you guys can't hear me, I'm probably gonna be in a dead zone for the next like 30 seconds or so. So bear with me. I'm gonna keep on talking, but I'll just repeat what I have to say or what I'm saying. But yeah, so divestors are the neo-Nazis of the black community. It's that simple, right? This conversation is not too complicated. Um, you know, I I I enjoy listening to Sarge Willie Pete, different perspective, knowledgeable brother, understanding of much of what's going on in the world. But Sarge, let's not allow the divestors to gaslight us. For many of them, they're just mad about who's not attracted to them, the men that they can't get or keep, and they use the mythical, magical white man, the omnipotent, omniscient white man, as a gaslighting tool to get black men to move the way they want us to move. Right? All of this, other women aren't told to settle, other women aren't yawn. First of all, it's factually inaccurate. It just simply is. Right? It just simply is. Right? The facts are the facts. 400, excuse me, 40% of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency. That's the facts. Right? That's the facts. Black people only make up 13, 12% of the US population. So where the other rest of them coming from? 40%. 60% of Americans can't afford a $1,000 emergency. 60. Median household income in America is something like $70,000 a year. And yet we're letting these loser weird ass divestors tell us about how other women aren't told to settle. What are you talking about? Tell us how much black men are lacking and how great these non-black men are. Based off of their feelings. Right? Divestors are a scourge. If you thought your weirdo cousins that are virgins, I'm talking about the males, talking crazy about women were a problem? No. Go talk to your female cousin. See what crazy really look like. See what unhinged really look like. See what delusional really looks like. Right? These people are cowards. They would rather talk crap about black men than be honest about the system they live in and why they're in the position they're in. Outside of black men, they can't help it. They can't help it. Right? It's an easy scapegoat to just insult black men, talk about what black men aren't building, what black men aren't doing, what black men haven't done, what black men and here's the kicker. Meanwhile, you still hold on to all of your feminist beliefs because you really think, you really truly believe that you can have patriarchy and feminism in the same place at the same time. Feminism on men's dime, female empowerment on men's dime. Oh, let's do one better. Feminism on elite white men's dime. That way you can look down on everybody else, primarily working class and everyday men, primarily black men. That's the goal. Oh wow. Right? Oh wow. Right? And KW Don says, and thank you for the super chat. KW Don says, the black misandrists are myopic and infantile. Bro, like excruciatingly so. Excruciatingly so. Right? Sarge speaks about if a brother earns 80 grand a year and pretty stable, and yeah, if a black man is earning $80,000 a year, that puts him in what, the top 20-15% of income earners in America, something along those lines. So 80 may not be the highest income if you're living smack dab in the middle of New York City, or maybe in the DC area and the Bay Area, but outside of that, and to be very frank, the majority of men in America don't make that. The vast majority of men. That includes the white men that these women worship. You know, I know Sarge has been doing his series about numbers and math and statistics lately, and I've been going through them, through those videos, and I might do something about that, make some content about that. But for now, I want to see where this goes because I find it interesting. Sarge pretty much telling everybody like, "Yo, your numbers got to be right. You got to have them in context," and he's right about that. He's definitely right about that, right? But if we're going to talk about numbers, marriage is a failing institution because women file for somewhere between 70 and 80% of divorces, right? And it's like financially related. 26% of poor Americans are married, 39% of middle class Americans are married, and 56% of upper middle class and above, and that's according to the American Enterprise Institute. We also know that um, more wealthier people are less likely to get divorced. Excuse me. The poorer you are, the more likely you are to get divorced. The wealthier you are, the less likely you are to get divorced. Right? You mix that with race and neoliberalism. Ooh, consumerism and materialism. Yikes! Now stunting for the gram. If I can't stunt for the gram, then what's the point of getting married? Maybe for that wedding day, I get to be princess for a day and take a million pictures so I can post it on the internet. You know, Sarge, throughout your YouTube career, you have watched the rise of the divestors. You have watched their arguments. You have read them. You have seen them. You have heard them. How much of that makes does it not sound unhinged? How much of what they're saying does not sound unhinged? Right? SKW Dawn says misandrous and myopic. They're myopic. They're looking through the they're looking at the world, excuse me, through a straw. Of course they are. Because black men ain't ish and the myth of white womanhood and other women aren't told to settle. That's all they see. As I said, whether they're college educated or not, look at these people content, look at their community tab, read the comments in their comment section, and you know much of the comments in their comment section are coming from teenage girls in high school and you know women in their 20s and college years and maybe a little bit after that. But regardless, every once in a while you get a 40 or 30 or 50 something year old person, woman in their comments still speaking crazy. Of course that exists, right? Of course that exists. What else would you expect? I also covered oh, I'm not covered, sorry. Apologies. I also went back and watched Obsidian covering Armiose Frimpong, the funky academic, speaking about Ebony K. Williams. And I wanted to say this as a fellow lefty. Obsidian is right. Our politics don't align. But contrary to popular belief, brothers on the left aren't as big placaters as y'all think we are. Right? And just as much as y'all say that on the political right, do I need to remind y'all about the tradcons and how much they blow smoke up women's asses? Black women's asses? What you think tradcons are only white? Right? The Hotep brothers, the pro black brothers that are in the same thing, many of these people conservative as hell. Contrary to popular belief, more black men than y'all would like to admit that's on the political left don't spend a whole lot of time blowing smoke up black women's ass and placating them. Some, yes. Allowed some, of course. Placaters, oh yes. Mr. Z is not going to tell you we don't got placaters on the left. That is not what I'm saying. What I am saying is far more of us are more of us are red pill on the left than you would like to think. Right? And it's not always about placating and ego stroking women, black women, right? And the reason why I've said this before, I got to say it again. The reason why Mr. Z is politically left is because of the fact that I don't want people to be destitute when they lose a job because we didn't privatized everything. I do believe that there should be a public education system, and I believe in public health care. And I believe in some type of safety net. And if y'all want to go into a gig economy future and people's health care is tied to their job, y'all gotta tell me how the hell it is supposed to work. Right? And outside of the LGBTQ people and their agenda, I don't really care what they do with their private parts. I don't. I would like for them to stop going to our elementary schools and trying to teach kids that part. Why they wearing tutus, right? But outside of that, I don't really care what these people do in their private time in their private places with their private places, right? And I do think of taxes as a redistributive measure to kind of even the odds. Because if you don't, then the wealthy people just run off with everything and they buy politicians and they make the world a living hell for everybody that's not them. And we all know that's how it ends at the end of the day. But Americans all think they're temporarily embarrassed millionaires. So we vote against our own interests because we think one day we're going to be the person who business finally breaks or who invention finally takes off or who wins the lottery or whose son or daughter, you know, lands that big gig. And then we'll too be millionaires looking down our noses on other people. Right. And because I just don't think like that, I vote from the position I'm in. That's why I always laugh when people are like, "Oh, you're voting like that because you don't got nothing." Okay. Wait, is that supposed to be an insult? Right. Now tying that to Sarge Willie Pete and the divestors, you have the Chrissies of the world and the Crystalline Kerosins who took it all the way. And then the next crop of divestors and swirlers, really divestors, that popped up after them were so neo-Nazi that even Chrissy had to walk it back a little bit. Even Kristen Kerosene had to walk it back a little bit. Even they had to play damage control because they had so trained and enculturated their subscribers and their followers to their insane rhetoric. Their subscribers and followers wanted them to go even further. This is how Cynthia G gets brought up in the conversation. That's why Cynthia G has a large following. That's why Lexus Exodus has what 30,000 subscribers. Right? It's not good enough to call black men deadbeats, right? It's not good enough to call black men losers. It's not good enough to compare black men to white men and deem them lacking. Nah, you got to call them, excuse my language, everyone, nakers, right? You got to call black men, once again, nakers. You have to advocate for them to be aborted, right? What Cynthia G said, if y'all not going to do right by us, or if y'all not going to do for us, then y'all shouldn't even be here. Exactly. Right? Right? You got to see black men as a utility. So Chrissy and Crystalline Kerosene, even with their insane rhetoric, didn't go far enough. The divestors, the more recent crop of divestors, feel like they didn't go far enough. You're not speaking about being sexually turned on by watching a white cop harass and abuse a black man. You're not going far enough. That's the divestors that you think we can reason with, Sarge. The ones that danced and twerked on Kevin Samuel's grave, the ones that danced and twerked on Kobe Bryant's grave just because he wasn't married to a black woman, the ones that are wishing that Jamie Foxx dies right now, those are the ones you think you can reason with. You can have some understanding with, right? These are people that are trying to one up each other and how insane their rhetoric can be and how insane their rhetoric can get. Right? And thank you for the super chat. And Big Kev says that's why I say far right slash left. Yeah, and yeah, and it's true. That's why you said moderate. Yes, yes, it is true because the far left and the far right are easily susceptible to this insane rhetoric, right? The fanatics are easily susceptible to zero sum game, no nuance, right? Winner take all, and I'm gonna win the debate whether by hook or by crook. I'm gonna win the argument by hook or by crook, and then I'm gonna move the society in the direction I think it should go in, and I don't care who gets hurt, how much it doesn't work, right? I told y'all, the right still has the country by the balls economically, and the left has the country culturally. The left has gotten beautiful culture victories over the past 5 decades. What else they got? Culture war victories, great. What else they got? The left just let gig economy slide under their nose. Under a Democratic president, by the way. Just pretty much defecating on centuries old, you know, labor rights laws. You know, same thing, look, tying that right back to what I was saying with Sarge Willie Pete. You know, Sarge Willie Pete, I know he means well. You know, he's all over these YouTube streets, the black YouTube streets, much like Mr. Z is, right? But I want to make sure that Sarge doesn't fall for the gaslighting tactics of some of these particular divestors and think that their complaints would cease to exist if black men would just build Wakanda. Look, these are not the women that are going to go. First of all, you don't want these women in Wakanda. Secondly, these are not the women to come to Wakanda if Wakanda was built. These are the women that would try to infiltrate and burn it down to make white Zaddy happy. They're not to be taken seriously. And no, they're not. They're disingenuous. Right? I'm taking long pauses right now because I'm thinking about like listening to Sarge for years and actually engaging him and saying like, Sarge, like, Wait a minute. Don't tell me you're taking these people's arguments seriously now. You know better than this. You're an OG in the game. These women are hurting, Sarge. Both the academically accomplished, the well off, the not well off, which most black women are. They're hurting. I say this all the time. We talk about all the men staying at home with their parents. We don't talk about the women well into their 30s still living at home with their parents, with their mother. We don't talk about the serious age gap dating some of these divestors are engaging in. All that talk they talking, being 28 and 29 with a 43-year-old, 44-year-old white dude. Somebody he's a provider. You gave him a decade plus, almost a decade and a half. What about the white guys that's your same age? Oh, wait, they don't got it. Exactly. And they're not interested. Give them a decade and a half after they get married, after they have their one or two fully white kids, then they'll be interested, and then you'll be on the internet telling us how much better they are and how they're providers. Until you get into an argument with one of their children and that child is putting hands on you. Shout out to Stacey Dash. Yikes. Until those kids let you know they don't like you, and then it's time to quarantine and you don't want to go to the house as the potential side chick, because you know those kids are going to be disrespecting you. Shout out to Ebony K. Williams. Right? These divestors are, like I said, a scourge. They're the Nazi wing of the black community. Right? They're gaslighting. And they evangelize, right? They're not just okay with being like, you know what, it didn't work for me with black men. I'm gonna go date out. No, they try to spread the message. They try to get other black women. How many black women have said it now? Amanda Seales said it a couple years ago, right? Who else said it recently? Like, oh my God, stop telling me to date white men. Oh, the darker skin sister I covered a couple weeks ago from TikTok that O'Shea Duke Jackson covered. These swirlers, the second they hear a black woman have a difficult time with black men, you need to date out. You need to date white men. I agree. I agree 100%. But these black women are even telling you, yeah, that ain't gonna work. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Sarge, you can't fall for the gaslight tactics of divestors. It doesn't matter what you do or what you build. Their gripe is who didn't want them in high school, who wasn't attracted to them in college, and that they're not white women socially and politically. Maybe not phenotypically. Maybe, right? But definitely politically and socially, economically, oh yeah, they wish they were white women, and not just any white woman, the elite white women. They wish they were Ivanka Trump, Hillary Clinton, Chelsea Clinton, the Bush twins, right? They sneer at Nick Cannon, they sneer at Future. They don't got nothing to say about Mr. Naked Mole Rat with the hair toupee, Elon Musk. right? Dude from Virgin Mobile, where was he when he had his what first kid, second kid? He was on a boat. He wasn't there in the delivery room. He was on an experimental boat. He was trying to do something with. But these are the people they tell you are better than you. These are the super fathers, right? Once again, the black tax. The black tax. Everybody talks about black men slipping, lacking, whatever, and how much better non-black men are. Meanwhile, the Latino community, birth out of wedlock, what, 50 some odd percent? 52, 56, something like that. White women, fastest growing birth out of wedlock. And no, it's not because of black men. Stop it. Right? Sarge, you can't fall for the gaslighting techniques. I'm gonna probably do a part two to this, but Sarge, you can't fall for the gaslighting excuse me, technique, Sarge. It's tempting, I know, but don't fall for it. Their issue is that they're not upper middle class white women, rich white women, elite white women, so they can look down their noses on other black women, mainly the light the light skinned cousin that grandma treated better, so they could look down on their frenemies because you know they got frenemies, right? Sarge, as a person, a fellow person who has studied these divestors, it's a game for many of them. Like I said, some of them really mean what they say. They mean it. And the others, it's just about one upping each other and just getting you all hot and bothered as a black man. Right. And thank you very much, Compassionate Callus. Compassionate says, congrats on the 2K subsy. Look, I'm gonna do something about that. I'm gonna probably do a little hangout and we'll talk about it. And I still owe BGS my goddamn skinny jeans picture, and I didn't forget. Right. So, um, yeah. So we'll I'm gonna do a dedicated like stream for that kind of as a celebration thing, right? But yeah, so I definitely wanted to make this video. I should have made this video yesterday when I had a bit more energy, and I'm definitely going to probably do a part. Well, see, I said definitely and probably. No, we're gonna attempt to do a part two to this, right? Because this, and Samantha Cooker, look, man, Sarge, Sarge, no, right? These people are just angry, bitter. They think it's cute. They're trying to one up each other. So who can say the most outlandish thing, etc., etc. No, no, bro, no. Right. So let's pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Um, you know, thanks for the shout out. With the 2K subs, compassionate. Like I said, we're gonna work something out, and I'm probably gonna figure out a day to celebrate that. Um, like I said, so we'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content for the love of God. So you don't sound like these divestors. Right? So you don't sound like these people. Right? And shout out to Sarge. Once again, no hard feelings or anything like that. But Sarge, don't fall for these gaslighting techniques or tactics, different things, right? These people bear some of these people don't even got a pot to piss in a window. Thought these people don't got nothing, nothing. Living vicariously through Ebony K. Williams and whoever else is talking crap about black men that might have two pennies to rub together, right? And Robert Jackson says, and we'll end that on with that comment. And Robert Jackson says, a De Beers, I know what you mean. A De Beers ad has popped up, or it has been popping up, featuring Lupita Nyong'o booed up with a white man while wearing a huge diamond. Well, she's with a black man now, isn't she? Number one. Number two, y'all remember a few years ago when the young lady, dark skinned chocolate sister, and they took a picture of her lips, and she had these beautiful full lips, DSLs, and very kissable lips, right? Something that black men would die for. Black men would die to have them lips, right? Not actually have them lips, but have them lips doing what them lips are supposed to do, both DSL and kissable lips. And white people, white men were ripping her a new one. What is Mr. Z? Or the African sister that and Toya might remember this, the African sister that was going off a few years ago about how racist the whole modeling industry is and how all the stuff that she had to go through, right? Y'all remember that a couple what was that like it was some years ago now. An African model talking about she was, and I think if I remember correctly, she might even gave some names, right? So yeah, some of these sisters are uberly attractive, and yeah, white men want to pipe too. White men want to pipe attractive black women too. But how many of them are going to be like Bowie and Maria Iman, right? Naomi Campbell been out here for how long? But she didn't she just finally have her kid? These are like words can't explain how attractive these women are. And the uber wealthy white dudes catch them, pipe, and throw them right back. And this is like amongst our most attractive women of black people, women in the diaspora, not just black American. Some of the most attractive women on the black women on the screw black women. Some of the most attractive women on the planet. And even they can't land one of these white dudes for more than a pipe. So I don't know what divestors are talking about, right? And better you say Naomi Campbell is a terrorist from what I can hear. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong on purpose. Um, yeah, I heard you don't want to be around her with a remote control around her, right? No cell phones or remote controls around her. TV remotes is flying, right? Target acquired, right? So we'll end right here. Truly, y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Love, peace, and chicken grease. We'll pause right here. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, so y'all don't sound like these divestors. Oh boy, right? All right, Mr. Z out, everybody. Y'all have a great, great rest of y'all day.